Good morning, good afternoon for some of you. I know there's typically a 20 to 27-second delay from where we're at in here and where you're going to hear what's coming. So I'm going to try to address that. But as you're coming in right now, let us know where you're coming in from. We want to know who's on live with us. Make sure that we give you a shout out during this conversation. So as we come in, please take the time. Just say, hey, we're coming in from New York, wherever it is. I'll see who you are. I'll put you up on the screen, and Carrie and I will give you a shout out. But I am excited today. I'm Chris Colt, the Challenge Champion. And on today, I get to talk with Carrie West. And we're going to talk about rewriting your money story. This is a big, big thing, okay? We all have a money story, and I want to get into this conversation as we get going along because there's so many different things I've seen with people, how they believe about money, what they do believe, what they don't believe, and we're going to uncover a lot of this. Now, we're going to be about 30 minutes today, so we are going to be relatively quick, but there will be an opportunity to talk to Carrie a little bit more in a deeper dive in a few weeks in a 5-day challenge. So, Carrie, first off, welcome back from, you were just over in the UK or London last week, right? Or this week, actually.
Yeah, yeah, just got back last night.
Yeah, you had a flight cancel on you.
Yes.
It always makes it fun, but you look awake, you look chippery, you look ready to go for here. So I'm
Yes,
excited for
yes.
that. And I can tell a few of you have just joined. I see the numbers starting to come on the LinkedIn Live. So just like I said, if you didn't hear it, if you're getting in now, let us know that you're on. Let us know where you're coming in from. We'll give you a shout out. But I want to get into this conversation, Carrie. I know and I believe every single person has a mission that matters within them. That's something that they might have been through in life that they figured out that they know they can help a lot of other people with. So I'd love to know what your mission that matters is, the people group you're fighting for, and why you're fighting for them. And then we'll take the conversation from there. So go ahead.
Well, I firmly believe that life was never meant to be this painful. I don't think it was meant to be this fearful. And I most of the people I meet, I don't think I've ever met anyone in my life who just felt happy and content all the time. We all have our stuff. We all have our issues. And I'm not saying I can fix every single one of them or honestly, we're not broken so we don't need to be fixed, but we carry bad information that keeps us existing in a world that was never meant to be this painful or this scary. So I'm on a mission to help people live a life of happiness and freedom, free from the fear, free from the fear, free from the worry, free from the anxiety. And I believe I can help.
I love that. I just got to say that because we do live in a world where there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of uncertainty. And,
Yes.
I believe that's one of the biggest, if you can solve that problem for people, you have a gift to this world. So I completely believe that that is something that is bigger than ever now. So let's talk about this a little bit. Since we're talking
Hmm.
about money today,
Hmm.
I want to start this conversation around a question that I think is a good question to start it off with. Why is money important beyond the obvious? Because we all know the obvious on this, but why is it important beyond that obvious?
Yeah. Well, we need money. We need money. You have to pay for things. Money is an exchange of value for value.
Mm,
You buy something because you like it or you want it or you need it. That's valuable to you. So you have to have money to do that. You need to buy something of value. Even if the value is I need to pay my rent so I'm not homeless, so I need to survive.
yep.
You need money. Money was never intended to be this big overarching drama piece that it's become. But when money became economics, when we shifted from money being an exchange of value for value, and it became the way our world economies functioned, it shifted and became this big, giant force of nature. It's this force of how governments run. It's this force of how our economies are kept alive so we can function in society. We somewhere along the line started absorbing these messages about this strong importance of money, and it became this big force in our lives. when that happened, it started to affect not only our exchange of value for value, but it started to affect how we see ourselves. We're told if you have a great income, boy, you're lucky, boy, you're blessed. And if you're struggling, then poor thing, poor thing. So your self-esteem is affected by the amount of money you can bring in or earn or achieve or maintain, or as you said one time, sustain.
Yeah.
We've made money this big thing. So not only does it affect our own sense of our self-worth, it affects our health
Hmm.
because our stress and anxiety levels are off the charts.
Yep.
It affects our relationships because everybody knows that there's a couple of reasons that are huge when it comes to why people divorce or why relationships fail. And so much of that is around our finances. And people who are engaged, they often are advised to sort out your financial relationships. So, finances affect our relationships, it affects our health, it affects our careers. If we don't feel valued, if we don't negotiate the right salary, it
Yeah.
affects everything, everything. So, I want to change our perspective of money and watch how it filters out through other parts of your life.
It is such a central part. Like when I talk to people and they're going through something, it's always like, I have to figure out how to pay the bills next week. I mean, I've heard that from a lot of people over the years, and
Mhm.
it's not a fun place to be.
Mm-mm.
But maybe let's talk to that person that might be on here right now that's in that situation. Maybe there's somebody who's just going to hop on this live because they say, "Wow, you know what? I'm going through some stuff." And they're down on a 5-day countdown. Yeah, it's getting to the end of the month. They got to pay their rent, their mortgage, but they don't know how to pay it. What would you say to a person in that situation?
First and foremost, take a deep breath.
Okay.
First and foremost, there's something that happens when we get into that high anxiety mode. Um, you've heard the term lizard brain, monkey brain,
My kids say it all
right?
the time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's a true part of your brain. It's called the amygdala.
Yep.
And the amygdala formed was in primary control with our great 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 ancestors a billion trillion years ago, whatever your beliefs are when people started. So it was important because you needed to be in fight or flight mode, because if you're out on a field looking to kill a woolly mammoth and big giant beasts come after you, you have to either be ready to fight or ready to run.
Yep.
So the amygdala was very important, and it developed then because it meant we could survive as a humanity. We could survive as a people. So it kept you ready, and as soon as you dealt with the danger, you calm down and you go back to getting your woolly mammoth and making clothes and moving the village around, because you had to come around with the village. You had to survive.
Okay.
So here we are 100 billion trillion, however many years since then. Well, we still have an amygdala. But what happens is when we are in stressful situations, it fires up to keep us ready to fight or
Yeah.
to run like hell.
Yep.
But what's happened is there are so many people that are fired all the time, because you're supposed to stop. Once the danger is past, you're supposed to stop, okay, and get on with your life and be a normal person again. But because of so much stress and anxiety, there are some people, and I was one of them for many years, that was in constant stress and anxiety. That's what they call post traumatic stress disorder, when
Hmm.
your amygdala is constantly fired. So you have an enormous amount of adrenaline and chemicals flushing through your body, because that's what you use to fight or flight. You need a burst of adrenaline to fight or flight. So
Yep.
when you're in constant fight or flight mode, you're not in creative thinking mode.
Yeah.
So every time, I often said January and April are the worst times to think about money, because January is all the credit card bills from the holidays, and April is tax time. So people will delay tax time, but you can't delay your credit card bills.
Yep.
So people are very stressed and anxious in January and April. But like you said, it's also as we're getting near the first of the month and it's like, oh no, payroll's due, oh, rent, mortgage, my payment for. So your amygdala is firing and there's a ton of adrenaline going through your body. You need to calm that down because in truth, when you're in your adult mode, you have the ability to figure this out. You have the creative mind that will give you the answer. But you have to get into a peaceful place. You have to give the chemicals that are running through your body a chance to stop.
Yeah.
And once you do, it's amazing what people come up with. I
Yeah.
had this one client who was freaking out because she happened to be in England and the government had then whatever the word is, a new tax bill that would be retroactive. And she was going to owe a 20% VAT tax for earnings for the last 5 years.
Whoa.
And she was, that's enormous. That's a lot of money. And she said,
Yeah.
I actually thought I am going to stop working so that I don't have to pay these bills.
Wow.
And I said, take a breath, calm you down. And I said, what are your other options? She said, well, I could apply for an exemption. Okay. Why don't you do that? She said, well, technically, I don't have a good reason. I said, try it anyway. I had a reason. Figure it out. So she did. And she got the exemption.
Wow.
It saved her probably close to £500,000.
Oof.
And in British money, that's probably close to 600,000 US.
Dang. That's a lot.
So I said, well, if you write it from your heart, being honest, being authentic, someone will respond to that. And they did. Now, somebody's going to say, oh, well, I tried that and it didn't work. You calm down your amygdala. Trust that you have the brain power to come up with a creative solution.
It's hard for people just to take that moment and just take that breath and step back, because I've been in those situations where you're just faced with so many things that are just like piling up, and it's like you just kind of want to lie back and just say it's done, it's over, and you can't do that because it's not over.
No, and that's part of it. I call them micro moments of change. They can just be teeny tiny little moments. We change more in these teeny tiny little moments than big sweeping changes.
Yeah.
But if you can take even if you just take a pause, if you can just give your amygdala a rest for 5 seconds, that's huge.
Yeah.
And it starts to rewire your brain because your brain gets addicted to this adrenaline.
Yeah.
And that's why money is a perfect place to start, because we all have some kind of anxiety around money.
Yeah.
I challenge anyone on this call to say I have no anxieties or stresses or concerns around money. We all have them.
Oh, yeah. I know people who have lots of it, who, if you really talk to them, some of the things they share, it's like they're stressed out about it all the time.
And here's a key point. I have a lot of wealthy friends, and they are more stressed out about money than I am.
Wow.
I have one friend who's terrified because she keeps getting notices from people asking for her money,
Mm-hmm.
and she feels guilty that she isn't sharing with everybody. I have another acquaintance who has never worked a day in her life, but she is so dependent on the stock market for her money that if there was a big crash, she'd be done for.
Yeah.
And she would not have the means or the capacity or the capability to go out and take care of herself. She's always relied on this trust fund and all this other money she's had, but it's so tied to the stock market, and we all know how volatile the stock market is.
Right now, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah. So every day it goes down, she freaks out. So It is not an issue for people who are worried about their January bills. It is an issue that we all have. It's different for everybody,
Yep.
but it's an issue.
So, how do we fix that? How do we start fixing that?
Well, the first thing is getting into your adult brain, shutting down, resting your amygdala, resting your lizard brain.
Yep.
The second thing is understand where this all started.
Mm.
How did we get here? And the first part of that is understanding the government and the economy's role and how we have absorbed this belief that money is much more important than it really is.
Yeah.
Then you got to shift your perspective, but to shift your perspective, you have to understand how you got here. I call that your origin story.
Okay.
I'm a storyteller,
Yeah.
and as a storyteller, we always wonder who's telling the story. Where did this come from? Most of us are carrying the same stories that we got from our families or from society or from culture. So men got the story of you have to be the provider. You have to provide a good life for your family.
Yep.
And women are given the message of you need to don't worry about money. It's too messy. Let the men in your life handle the money. So women are trained to think, well, I don't know much about money. I'm undereducated about money. And there was a study that said women are over 50% less aware of money matters than men because we're just not trained. We're told we don't need to.
Yep.
Meanwhile, men have this pressure on them.
Oh
So
yeah.
men are constantly comparing themselves and competing and
Yep.
high anxiety all the time. I gotta, no. They're running on this treadmill constantly. And women are, or when you decide you want to start a business as a female, you undercharge
Yep.
because we're more worried about providing services than we are, oh, money isn't important. I'm saving the world.
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy.
It is
Money is
crazy.
important. We need it.
Yep.
But we have this definition of it. So when you understand where that came from, that you are not broken, you were given bad information from the day you were born.
Yep.
You were given incorrect information. That's not necessarily bad. You know, we're told money doesn't grow on trees. Well, it doesn't grow anywhere.
If you
I
could
said
touch
that to
it
my
and it
mother.
grew, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah.
I know. My mom said that to me. I was probably 8 or 9 years old, and she's like, "Money doesn't grow on trees." And I went, "Doesn't grow anywhere. You get it from the bank." You know, 8-year-olds like, "You get money from bank. You don't get it from trees." And she's like,
Yep.
"Stop being such a smart mouth." So, and then we're given these subtle messages of live within your means. And I had one client say to me, "Isn't that a good thing to live within your means?" I said, "It is, but it's also a way to limit you."
Yeah.
It's also a very subtle message that says you can't trust that you're going to have money tomorrow.
Yeah.
You got to control yourself so you live within your means. Trust that you're not going to go on some crazy spending spree. And you're not. Are you really somebody who's going to go and max out the credit cards every week? I
Yep.
know there's some people that do, but is that you? So you got to first understand the messages you were given and then question them, challenge them. You know, even if something as silly as, well, money doesn't grow anywhere, you get it from a bank. You know, it's shifting the perspective,
Yeah.
which takes the energy off of it and gives you the opportunity to just be at a place of, I don't even think about money anymore. As soon as I'll tell you what, the minute I stopped worrying about money, it started coming into my life in crazy ways.
Like abundance right there, right?
Abundance. Yes. Yes. And I went from very, very, very humble beginnings to living in a beautiful multi-million dollar home in Santa Barbara
Okay.
and having a wonderful income and lifestyle. Now, my mom's been passed for a few years, so she didn't get to see this happen. But I had a lot of shame growing up because we were very broke. There were times we didn't even have food to eat. We had a house, we had a roof over our head always, but I had a lot of shame around that
Hmm.
and believing that if I only had some money, I would be a better person. I'm already a good person. Money isn't going to make me better, worse. Money will add a microphone to it. If you're a mean person, if you have money, you're probably going to get meaner.
Yeah.
But that wasn't me. I wasn't a mean person. So once you know your story, where it came from, you can shift the perspective of it and tell a different story.
And that you wrote a book around this, didn't you?
I did. Money
Did
Rewritten.
Yeah. So tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about that book. Like, what inspired you to write it, and what's a little bit through the book that you talk about.
Well, my first book, Life Rewritten, is an award-winning book and bestseller, and it was about the overall view of how we were given messages that affect how we are in life. And I shared the story of how I did that and shared how I looked at my life as a big, massive, epic story. And when I started dealing with the themes and the characters, and most importantly, I wrote a happy ending,
Hmm.
that was the shift. And then the book was so well received and people were saying, "How do I apply it here?" And I said, "Okay, I got to go into the detail and do Money Rewritten." And so Money Rewritten became is a journey about how I discovered my money origin story
Okay.
and how I changed the theme. A theme is like is the overarching belief. You know, money is the root of all evil. I changed that to I live an abundant, happy life. I'm prosperous and abundant because, like I said before, abundance is not just about money.
Yeah.
It's about great health.
Yep.
It's about good self worth.
Yep.
It's about um, good relationships. It's about all of that. So when I started shifting the money story, all the others came through and worked with it as well. So that I uncover and write about in detail in Money Rewritten.
Okay. So now, because of that book, you got inspired that you wanted to help more people out there.
Yes.
And you can see a little thing that sits right up here. Join the challenge, and you're going to do a challenge around this. The Money
Yep.
Rewritten, right? You're going to tell
Yep.
people. And let me put this up right here for those that catch us on replay or joining us live. You can see a little bit more about this, but this is the Money Rewritten Challenge. It's going to be $49 to join, or you also have a VIP option for $249. And all you simply have to do is just scan right there. It'll take you right to the page to sign up. But why don't you talk a little bit about this? Because I know your book inspired you with this, but I know you want to make a greater impact. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to do in this challenge.
Well, it's funny because I can talk about all these themes high level, but it's impossible to get into the detail of it and really take it heart on this call or even
Mhm.
reading the book. So in the 5-day challenge, we take 5 different aspects of where you can start changing your money story, and we actually do it. We put the we put the whole practice into action. And I'm one-on-one with you then, and if on the VIP, we have some follow-up one-on-one sessions where we actually take each of the steps apart. We'll look at your money story, your origin money story. We'll look at your money language, which is a big clue to your money story. And it's something that holds you in place and stops you, holds you back from actually changing. We'll look at other actionable items you can do to actually start changing your story. And every time I put on one of these challenges, I get the most amazing feedback from people that have changed it.
I, you know, but what's good about this, what I like about this, not only have you done this before, the reason for the challenge, for those of you that listen to this, it's because Carrie is going to do a few things with you. She's going to be with you each day. So you get the value of somebody who has the framework to guide you through this rewriting your story. You get to come in and ask questions, but she's going to put you into action mode, right? This is called a challenge for a reason because you're going to You're going to look a little bit internally. You're going to go to that part of things. And then you're going to start fixing things. And I'm pretty darn sure you're going to make people breathe a lot during this process. But what I love about this is you're giving people an opportunity to come into your world, Carrie, to ask you those hard questions that they might not want to ask. And you're even giving the opportunity for the VIP. What are you exactly doing for those that take VIP? I believe you have a one-on-one with people if they decide they
Yep.
want to take that route also, right? So,
Yep.
I mean, I talk to Carrie about this stuff all the time. I'm going to tell you, this woman's amazing. Like, her and I had a deep dive conversation because guess what? Chris deals with this stuff also, like any other human being. Every human being deals with this. I don't care who you are out there. And I said, hey, Carrie, can we have a little chat? And some of the things she started talking to me with, I was like, wow. It was actually my first conversation of the new year because I felt I needed to go into the new year with a conversation like this. So I know what she did for me with, I think it was an hour and 10 minutes that you and I talked that day. But to have that group, and what's awesome is to have another group together with you. So I highly encourage you, scan this and then come into this challenge and spend time with Carrie. I mean, what's exciting you the most about this challenge?
I love the follow-up stories about how fast this works. More people have aha moments in 1 hour
I love that. It's
and
like,
then
oh,
have shifts, have immediate shifts. Immediate. I
when you
mean, I just had an immediate shift myself. I mean, we all have these things that get in our way
yep.
and yeah.
What's that feel like though when you watch a person have that immediate shift, right? Because I know for what I do with things, when I watch somebody break through something they've been dealing with client acquisition, that just fires me up. It's like, yes, you saw it. Now let's go. So for you, when you see somebody have that light bulb moment, that breakthrough, what does that do for you internally as a person?
Our world is in a real chaotic state right now. You
Yes.
mentioned the world. You mentioned the word uncertainty.
Yep.
I think the word that scares me the most is so many people have lost hope.
Yes.
And when I see somebody, oh, it gives me hope. If we
Yep.
can have more hope, we are going to have a better world.
That is huge because people, I can tell you, people have lost hope. I talk to too many people, and like they're just like, this is my life situation. This is what it's all about. Like, and then I watch the person that's the direct opposite. They have a life situation, but they're like, this isn't the end. This is the story. This is the story I'm going to go through because I'm going to go help other people on the other side. And you have to
Yep.
be that person. That's who you have to be because that's where hope and faith and whatever you believe in comes all together when you can be that person.
And that's the part that goes back to the original mission you brought up.
Yeah.
Was never meant to be this painful or fearful because when it's that painful and that scary, hope is lost.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
I want to reinvigorate hope. Hope is so vital
Yep.
to us as a humanity, and we've lost it.
Yep.
And I will tell everybody listening and everybody who listens to the replay, there was a time 20 years ago where I would hope I wouldn't wake up in the morning because I was so stressed out, so scared, and in so much pain that I thought if I could only just not wake up tomorrow, I'd be okay. And I bet there's been a lot of people on here who have felt that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I overcame all of that. And now I have so much hope for humanity and hope for all of us. Even with all the headlines, all the craziness we see, I still feel so much hope. And when I see somebody else have that moment where, oh, okay, then I've done my job.
You're activating hope in people, right? You're an activator.
I'm an activator, yes.
So we're right around the 30-minute mark. I'm going to let you wrap us up. Anything you want to say, I'm going to highlight you here. So if you want to close this out here, stay with me as I turn this off because we're going to chat a little bit on the back. But this has been a
Yeah.
joy. I'm really good at keeping 30-minute promises here. So I'll let you close us out here, Carrie. And then when you're done, I'll come in, I'll stop us, and then stay with me for this. So go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you all. I want to thank Chris for putting this on, and I want to thank all of you. And I want you to know, join the challenge. I'd love to chat with you. I'd love to help you re-engage, reinvigorate hope in your lives because it's possible. There isn't anyone on this planet who doesn't deserve a happy, healthy, abundant life. So thank you. I'm Carrie West, and it's been a joy to spend this time with you.
And I just want to give it, I just got a comment here. Uh,
Hmm.
and I hope I don't say Dorit's name wrong. If I do, you can shoot me, Dorit. I believe it's Dorit. If you see right here, Dorit, right now, and I know there's a little delay, right here, I'm going to drop this QR code. I will reply to your comment in LinkedIn right when we're done here so you have it. Just scan this QR code. It's going to take you to the landing page right now, and then you can sign up there. But I will go in. Let me do it right now while you're with us because that's important. So give me 1 second, Carrie, before we do this.
Sure.
So let me do this right now. And I'm coming in. I got to sign into my LinkedIn real quick, but I got you. So, Dorit, just stay right there. Chris is putting a link right here for you. Hopefully, you don't hear background noise when Chris comes in because I'm actually on this live. So, Dorit, here you go. I am doing this right now. Boom. There you go. And I did it again right here. And I just want you to make sure you see this, Dorit. So, we're going to save this. Hold on. That's what happens when Chris starts to play with technology when we're on live. So here we go. Okay, the QRs. So here you go, Dorit. I just put this, and there's a little delay. But if you look at under your comment right here, I literally just dropped the link there for you. And then Carrie or I will send you a DM, or if you send us a DM to make sure you got it. But thank you for saying that. The link, sometimes the QR code is a little funky when you try to hit it. So I can totally see that. I'm just waiting to make sure that so we're 20 seconds in delay here. So everything I say now, it takes 20 seconds to get out there. So I'm just making sure you get this and you can confirm you got the link there. So let me just refresh this. You should see the link sitting there right now. Just let me know. Anything else you want to add, Carrie, while we're chatting?
I'm good. I'm just so grateful for this opportunity to share all this with everybody. So thank you. Thank you very much. This was
I'm
great.
looking forward to the lives you change from this and the impact that you make out there. So we'll just wait a second to make that. Okay, she's got it. It looks like good.
No, she said she's still waiting.
That's weird. I just replied to one of your comments, but here's what I'm going to do. I'll do it again. I'm going to do it this way, old school. Oh, I see what's happening. Haha. Hold on. You're going to hear background noise, Carrie. Don't yell at me. All right, now it's going to work. You want to know why? Dorit, I'm tagging you. Chris can make all this stuff fun. LinkedIn wouldn't let me post this because I was logged in on this up here too. I see why I did it. So I apologize. Chris is a little sloppy. Here we go, Dorit. We're going live. It's going to put the link. Here it comes. Boom. It's coming. And I just hit send. You should be tagged, Dorit. Just confirm you got it with us. I don't want to leave until you know what you can say. Old school is good. I love it. All right. Dorit, I appreciate you playing full out with us, but I want to make sure you got it. Yes.
Yes.
You're getting a shout out here, Dorit. Hold on. Boom. Awesome. So listen, make sure you talk to Carrie. She'll definitely take care of you. Thank you for signing up for that, and thank you for being patient with us. So we're going to sign off now because I got to have a little conversation with Carrie about this challenge a little bit and make sure everything's good. Dorit, reach out to myself, reach out to Carrie. Any questions? We got your back, but thank you for confirming you got it. Have an awesome day. And yes, it worked, Carrie. So it worked.
Yay.
Yay. All right. We all see you all later. And that was fun, actually.